All right.
Totally
Hi,
said.
everyone. I would like to welcome you tonight to our Ear Community Teen Chat. And we've had a lot of families reach out, and there's a lot of teens out there with Microtia and atresia, and they're really excited to meet someone in the same situation. We realize that not everyone has someone in school. Not everyone has a friend living next door, that has a missing ear or both ears missing with hearing loss. And so we just wanted to bring you guys together tonight. And we have a couple of wonderful hosts. We have Alexis joining us, who's 13 from North Carolina. And we have
Hi.
Ben joining us, who's
Uh,
17 and a half. Are you 17 and a half, Ben?
just about. Yep,
Okay,
just
joining
about.
us from Florida. And I just wanted to say a few things about your community before we get started. I actually think everybody that's on tonight knows about our organization. I think you've been to our events or you've been following us for years, but Allie is here with us, my daughter Allie, and she's 15. And when Allie was born, we didn't really have anything like a community like this. And that's the whole reason why we started Ear Community. We didn't want anyone,
Even know it exists.
well, we didn't want anyone else to feel alone. So, but I'd like to get started. For everyone on and for those who will watch our recording later, always know that you can reach out to Ear Community at any time. We have board members that have Microtia and atresia. We have a whole community like who's on tonight that we can connect people with. So if you ever need to talk to someone or reach out to someone, just send us an email and we'll put you in touch with someone, okay? It's always nice to have a friend or to just, not feel so alone. Also, I hope that you guys know about our picnics. Our picnics are truly priceless events. You guys are rare and special. It's not always that you get a chance to meet with everyone. So, try to make it to one of our events. It's often a wonderful day. And always remember too that, not everyone is born symmetrically. Not everyone is born perfect. And animals are also born with microtia and atresia. And quite often they are the cutest animals out there. So if you ever come across an animal that is missing one or both ears, I think they will fit in just fine with our families.
Like an elephant.
Right. Elephants, cats, dogs, horses, cows. There's so many that have been documented, truly born with microtia and atresia. So another thing, as a parent, I know it's kind of hard to see, but I am wearing my shirt that says a proud mom of an awesome Microtia kid. As a parent, we just think you guys are beautiful and perfect in every way, and we love you so much. And we just want you guys to be proud of yourselves, all right? And, just always know that there are options available. If you would ever like to know what those options are that can help you with microtia and atresia, just reach out to our organization and ask. We realize that everyone's always looking for happiness, and through options, we want you to find the happiness that you're looking for. Okay, we want you to be educated and informed. And also, November 9th is National Microtia and Atresia Awareness Day. So that's a day our organization established for all of you. We wanted you to have at least one special day where you can embrace yourself and celebrate yourself and, just
And to be
just
you.
have a wonderful night. Go out to dinner, make it fun. A lot of children make presentations in their school classrooms. Teachers of the deaf and hard of hearing also educate on hearing loss. And it's just a day for you guys, all right? And to also remind you that you're not alone. So let's get started. We have a list of questions that I just wanted to have Alexis and Ben kind of lead our group. Let someone else in. And it's an opportunity tonight for you guys to just kind of ask some questions to each other and just to kind of share your journeys. This is a really nice opportunity to speak with someone else about your age. So as I mentioned, it's our teen night. And, one of the questions I wanted to ask Alexis, we'll start with you first. What activities are you involved in through school or the community? And do you think that by being involved with these activities in the community has made it easier living with microtia and atresia to be around other people?
Yes and no. So, yes, it's hard for me to fit in sometimes. But no, is no one knows how hard you've been through. You can have the most heartbreaking thing and you can still be happy no matter what you could do. Just be happy and make other people around you happy.
Okay, and you're also involved in, and I know I have this wrong, it's not Girl Scouts. What are you a part of?
I'm in Girl Scouts volleyball and basketball. It's hard for me to do volleyball and basketball, even wearing my hearing aid. If a ball hits my head, search anywhere.
But you're doing it, right? You're part of the
Huh?
teams. Okay, so you're finding your way. And again, not every day is going to be easy. There'll be some hard days. So Ben, you have pretty much made it through your entire high school career. You're at the
Mhm.
end now,
Yep,
right?
I'm a senior.
Yeah,
It's gone by
congratulations.
quick. Thank you. Yeah.
And I know a lot you've experienced a lot during those
Mhm.
4 years of high school, because high school is definitely different from middle school.
Yeah, way different.
Yeah. So what activities are you involved in? Are you in sports, community things, or do you have a job?
So, um, I'm not playing baseball this year, but like pretty much all throughout my life, I've played baseball my freshman, sophomore, and junior year. I've played baseball and right now I don't have a job, but over summer I had a job in it's pretty much like construction, but I was just like running equipment essentially.
Wow, that's great. Now, I forgot, do you wear a hearing device too?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I wear a Baja.
And you wore it during baseball or
No,
do not?
so I do not. So like in baseball, just because you're like running around a lot, and whenever I played baseball, I caught. So, I had a helmet on and it wouldn't really fit under the helmet, and I could like make it work, but sometimes it would squeal, or like if I had to take off my mask, it could fly off with it. So I just,
Mhm.
have learned to like adapt without my hearing aid. And, all my friends and baseball players, they know that they have to speak up like a little bit extra louder than me, or if I don't hear them, they have to repeat themselves. And same thing with my coaches, but my coaches normally always yell, so it's not really big of an issue.
That's a coach's job, is to
Yeah.
yell, right? Well, good. So you too, just like Alexis, you are finding your way. Both of you are finding what works for you. You're advocating for yourself. You can have a hearing device, and sometimes it's not the right time to have it on, like playing sports, or if you're afraid of being hit in the head or a helmet doesn't fit over it, it's okay. When that happens, Ben, do you find yourself being a little bit more visual? Are you watching people's
Um,
facial expressions more if you feel like you had to remove your hearing device and you can't hear as well?
yeah, well, even with my hearing aid, I tend to lip read a lot. But especially without it, I have to really pay more attention and make sure I'm like, if I'm on the baseball field, make sure I'm more aware of everything that's going around me, because a lot of times I can't hear. And if you have people yelling in the background on the stands, it all kind of blends in together, and you can't, pick out, certain voices from others. So, essentially, yeah, you have to be a lot more vigilant.
Okay. Sure. So, Allie would like to show you one of our cats. And again, this is Allie, my daughter. She's the reason why I created your community. And she's 15. This is one of our pets. This
Take
is
your
Kai.
community kitty.
Yes, we call her Celebrity Cat. She's been in
Aw.
newspaper articles and on TV, but so Alexis, to the same point that Ben has made, I know you said you wear your Baha during volleyball. So do you also read lips? What do you do that helps you hear better when you are struggling with your hearing?
So I usually read lips if I'm reading out loud. If someone's reading too fast, I would try to catch up, but hard for me because they're reading too fast for me to put my finger where I'm supposed to be.
Okay.
Yes, I do read lips.
You do read lips. Yeah, my dad lost his hearing overnight when I was 6 years old, and he actually became an excellent lip reader. He went from hearing to deaf instantly. So reading lips and watching facial expressions can really get you far.
Is that
Can really
actually how
help.
you learned about lip reading?
No,
From
No.
your dad, basically?
no, I just, I always knew that my dad read lips, and
Um,
he told me that, that's how he helped understand a lot with his hearing loss.
I thought he
So-
just always told you about the experiences with that, so then I thought you knew about it then.
Well, it's how we learn from others, just like tonight on our call. We get to hear from everyone. So Ben, did you ever feel that in school? Did you ever get in trouble with teachers because you didn't hear them? Sometimes we have people in the community that feel like they were in trouble a lot or were reprimanded, and it was simply when they think back that they realized they weren't even hearing the teacher calling on them because of hearing loss. Have you had any instances like that throughout your school career?
I haven't really like middle school and up like teacher because I started like advocating around middle school and like high school, like advocating was became like a bigger thing, and I could express myself a lot better. And so I always told the teachers at the beginning of the year, hey, I have a hearing loss, I might not hear you, it's not intentional, things like that. But I remember back in elementary school, there was one time there was this teacher, and we were at lunch and she had told us all to line up somewhere and be like this certain place, but I wasn't there because I had no idea she had said that. And she got mad at me for it. But like luckily I had other people at the school and my teachers that knew I had a hearing loss, and at the time she didn't, and when I said that, I don't think she really believed me, but they kind of stepped in and helped me.
Okay, well, good, because there are always better advocates than others.
Mhm.
And even from some of the older individuals that are now like early 20s that I've spoken with that have microtia and atresia, they honestly look back now and they realize maybe why they got in trouble so much. They didn't connect it at the time and realize that they weren't hearing the teacher, but they realize now that that might be a possibility of why they were in trouble or felt like they got reprimanded a lot. Now, Alexis, have you gotten in trouble? And I don't mean this like in a bad way. It's very frustrating, when you're a member of the deaf and hard of hearing community and you just don't hear everything. Sometimes people might get frustrated with you, or they might think you're rude because you simply didn't respond, but it's only because you didn't hear them. So have you, Alexis, ever had an instant in school where you just didn't hear a teacher calling your name and maybe got in trouble for it?
No, I haven't so far in my life. I hear clearly with and without my hearing aid.
Okay. So another question that I think a lot of people definitely would like to know from both of you is, how do you feel about your microtia and atresia? Like, is there anyone else in your school that's just like you? do you have a good circle of friends that make you feel okay? How are you getting by each day? Ben, we'll look to you first for that.
Yeah, so um I'll start like when I was younger, my mom like had always told me that God had, made me for, a reason, and I was born with a little ear and I was special. And I think that kind of like really stuck with me and it helped build my confidence. And I've always been really lucky to have the friend group I have and all the friends, because like a lot of times they don't like, it's like I'm I don't have, a small, like I'm just like anybody else. And it's as I'm really lucky, to have them, because they don't care, and I'm just like anybody else to them.
Great. Well, it sounds like you have a great circle of friends. And I'm really happy. I know I'm very proud of you, Ben. I know your
Thank you.
mom is too. Um, that you are just a wonderful advocate, and you seem to be getting by just great. So
Thank you.
Alexis, do you have a good circle of friends at school? Friends that, accept you for just the person you are, just the way you are? Do you have trouble with anyone at school that, wants to know about your ear or your hearing loss?
Everyone at my school knows I have hearing loss, and some of them are, only of them are really nice to me, and that could turn on and turn on again. I grew to love older kids than me, and
Keep processing it. You got this, okay?
You're doing great. And I'm proud of you too, Alexis. Take your time. You're doing great.
people got to know me, and when I say her, they say, okay, we will talk a little bit slower for your pace. And that so makes a deaf or hard of hearing kids feel accepted a lot of the times.
Good. Well, I know in today's schools, deaf and hard of hearing services are available in the majority of them. And I think hearing loss is a lot more accepted. The stigma isn't really there because honestly, it seems like half the world is wearing a hearing device, right, guys? It's not, that bad, the way people used to think of hearing loss. I think it's true what you said, Ben. A lot of kids are now really great advocates for themselves. And it always helps to advocate, for yourself. For those of us who don't have hearing loss, if there's, say, a question that we didn't hear or don't understand, we advocate by asking for someone to repeat it or say we don't understand. It's the same thing. Always know that you can ask somebody to say something again. And I think it's wonderful that both of you have shared over the years with school and with your IEPs in place and, teachers that they know that you have hearing loss. And so they're always helping be that extra set of ears for you guys and making sure that everything's okay. So good. Let's see here. Ben, in addition to hosting our picnic in Florida, what else do you do as an advocate for the deaf and hard of hearing community?
So for us, I would say I don't like around me, I don't really know that many people with like deaf and hard of hearing, but well, we do actually have this one girl named Faith that goes to our school and she's deaf. But I try to like do my part and help, you say like educating, but letting people know that, people with a hearing loss or people who are deaf or just normal people, I'm like, we can all do the same thing as each other. And, obviously we might have to go like different way and, do things a little bit different. But in the end, we still meet at the same goal. We still meet at the same finish line. And it's just, help get rid of that stigma that, that can be associated sometimes. But like I said, in my life, most people, they just, where I'm from, they just don't really, care or bother. And, they'll ask questions and that's okay. A lot, they've never met another kid, with a small ear. And, same thing for me. I've never met another kid with Microtia atresia until I went to the picnic. And so, and that was also like a really special moment too.
Oh, well, thank you. And you did a great job hosting our picnic this summer. And I know your mom told me how much that meant to you. So again, all of you on here, if you ever have a chance to come to an ear community picnic, they really truly are priceless. It's not every moment where you do get to meet someone just like you in the same situation, and share your journey, share your stories, and maybe even walk away with a new friend. By the way, tonight, if any of you would like to reach out to each other, I'm happy to put you in touch with each other, okay? It's always nice to have somebody to bounce something off of, someone else to talk to who you feel truly understands. So I'm willing to do that. And let's see here. Alexis. So Alexis has been helping us advocate for Allie's Act. I don't know if all of you know what Allie's Act is on the call tonight, but it's a federal piece of legislation that if it passes, it would make sure that private insurance companies cover bone-anchored hearing devices, the very hearing devices that our community members need. So unfortunately, insurance providers do not always cover those devices. And it's very unfair to our children and adults who have microtia and atresia to not be given the opportunity to hear when technology is available. So Alexis has been advocating. Alexis, do you want to share a little bit of what it was like when you met with your congressman and you told him why you need this hearing device to help you hear? Was that exciting?
Yeah. So,
Right before the picnic, we went and met with them, right?
yeah.
Go ahead, Tilda.
So right before the picnic, we went to the congressman for our place, and I said, hey, so there's a program what helps kids who have Microtia atresia, and
Do you,
Uh,
do you need some help? All right.
Hi,
So,
Tanya.
my name is Tanya. It's nice to see you. So right before the ear community picnic, about 2 years ago in Raleigh, we went and met with our Congressman Chuck Edwards, and we talked about how it is very important for private insurances to accept these bone-anchored hearing devices. Because like when Alexis was younger, we were first denied. And because I was a squeaky wheel and decided that I wasn't going to take no for an answer, I was able to get her audiologist, her ENT. At this time, we were living in Colorado to try to get the Baja for her. And then we ended up getting it. I made a letter, and so I explained this to our congressman here in North Carolina, and he said that he would look into it. I don't think it went any further than that, but we're going to pursue it again. Like Alexis said earlier, she's in Girl Scouts, and We work as a Juliet.
Juliet. That means I am solo without a Girl Scout.
Without a troop. And so what she's wanting to do, which is pretty ambitious, is try to get something passed in North Carolina. But I think it's a big undertaking.
For my team.
Okay.
Well, great. Well, thank you both for advocating for Ally's Act. It really means so much to all of us and our entire community, and our bill will be reintroduced again next year. And, you know, thank you for being brave and going into your congressman's office. And if anything, you definitely helped educate him on Microtia and atresia, because I bet you anything, he's never met anyone with a little ear. So thank you, Alexis, for educating. All right. Let's see here. Ben, can you think of one difficult time in school that you had? Was someone ever mean to you? I know curiosity is good, but sometimes it really depends on how it's delivered. You know, did you ever have a situation where you just felt really hurt over it? Were you able to overcome it and move forward? And, you know, how did that make you feel? How did you deal with it?
Yeah, so the only time like in school I've had somebody like say something, or you could say like make fun, was in 6th grade. And it was this one kid, um and he was like kind of like known as like a troublemaker at the time, but it I'm like it didn't necessarily bother me. Like I went up at the time to go like speak to him about it, but the teacher you know, kind of like didn't let me go over there. But it ended up like next year in 7th grade, me and him actually became really good friends, like over it. So I'm like, that's really the only time someone's ever like said something to me like really like mean or hurtful. But I'll hear it every now and then. It's very, very rare that like I even hear something bad, and I just let it go over me. I don't really pay attention to anything, and it doesn't really bother me if someone says something about it.
Well, good. I'm really happy that, you know, you're fine with trying to deal with it, and congratulations on becoming friends. I'm sure that doesn't always
Yeah,
happen.
yeah,
So
and we're still friends to this day. To this day, he still goes to my high school. So
that's great. That's
yeah,
great. That's a wonderful outcome.
yeah. And we played
Um,
baseball together the next year, and the year after that, and he played baseball my freshman year with me. So it was unexpected, but it ended up good.
well, that's great. I know, you know, every kid I know you guys are in school. It's not easy. I've been there. I mean, it's hard trying to just fit in and be a kid, you know, and, so I hope that for most of us, nobody ever really, you know, brought any attention to your ear. And if they did, it was just pure curiosity. And hopefully they asked it in a really nice way, and you were able to educate them and respond. But, you know, each and every one of you on here tonight, you're role models. I hope you know that. There's a lot of people, they're very shy. They're not very brave. They close up. They're not willing to share about, you know, why they're missing an ear. And each and every time one of you guys does have that conversation with someone you are educating, somebody else. And then I'm going to open it up here soon to all of you, because I would really like you guys to talk. But I think because of what you guys have as individuals, being born with microtia and atresia, you actually learn to become stronger individuals. I have heard this over and over again in our community, that many individuals with microtia and atresia have learned to become very strong individuals. You learn to lift others up. You are used to being there for someone else, because you have that connection. You know, you are willing to help somebody else out if they're not having a great day. And so that is one unique thing about many of our community members, is you guys really rock. You're really good that way. And I know it's not easy, but always know that, you know, you are valued. Okay. And like I said, as a mother, we love you guys so much. You know, we are so proud of you. So I would like to open up the questions. We can use our chat for anyone who would like to ask some questions. But also, if you guys know how to raise your hand, go ahead and raise your hand, and go ahead and unmute yourself. So before we open it up, I've been asking Alexis and Ben to think of one thing, one piece of advice, one suggestion that they would give anyone else in the community, just some good advice on being a kid with microtia and atresia. So Ben, what's your suggestion or advice for the community?
Yeah, so I would tell, you know, all the kids, and you know, especially to the parents with you know, just newborn babies that have them, because I know like a lot of parents, they, you know, they often question, I know my mom did too, you know, will my kid be like every other kid? And I kind of said this at like the picnic too, but you know, you can literally do pretty much, you know, anything you want to do. Like for me, example, you know, I wakeboard, I do a ton of water sports, I play like sports, I play baseball. Working wise, you know, I want to be a pilot when I'm older, because you know that's what my dad does. I've always loved aviation, but I've working wise, I've ran equipment, I've ran logging equipment, loaders, excavators. I'm like, it's endless, like what you could do. And you know, just because you have a hearing loss, that doesn't mean you should give up on your dreams and your hopes. I've done like a lot of things that, you know, some other people would never, you know, gotten to do. So in a way, it's kind of like an opportunity, and that, you know, you could use.
Wonderful. That's what we all want to hear. Nicely done. By the way, hi, Noelle, or
Maddie.
Natty.
Yeah, I just got back from soccer and then I took a nap. So sorry for late.
No, you're fine. I'm glad you joined us.
Yeah.
And Alexis, being 13, what's one piece of advice that you would be willing to give to other Microtia kids that get you by each day at school? You know?
So do anything your heart desires. Don't think the past. Think of the future. Think of the happy moments that you had with your friends or family. Be happy you're still here.
You're okay. Keep going.
You're still here and you are stronger than ever before. Do anything.
Nicely said. You guys are all worth it, and you matter. And by just missing one or both years absolutely has nothing that should ever set you apart and make you different. And, you know, we like to say in our community a lot that we never let little or missing ears ever define us, or a hearing loss. You guys can absolutely go on and do so many things in life, and find happiness. So yeah. All right. Let's do the raising the hand thing. I think that's easier than people typing in the chats. So who would like to go first and just say anything, something, discuss a question with the group? Maddie?
I might get the Oticon implant. I don't know yet though. But I went to Nashville and like they don't they're so the Oticon implant just came out. So they're not like new to it. So they have to go through a bunch of training. So I might get the surgery in March, I think. maybe. Yeah.
So you're excited. Now you've been already wearing a hearing device, right? But now you're ready to be implanted.
Yeah. And well, my parents want me to get the like abutment. It's like a tiny thing and it goes like right there or something. And I don't really want to get that. I want like the magnet implant, so I think I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Well, it sounds like it is coming out. It's already out and it's just making its way to you. So be patient. And I think you'll be very happy. Along that line, Ben, when did you know that you think you needed to get a hearing device? Were you just suddenly struggling with hearing, missing things? You know,
Yes.
what made you make the decision?
So it's actually my parents are the ones that made the decision for me. I think got a Baja when I was because I think I got the implant when I was like 5 or 6, but I know like um since I was like really young, I always had the headband strap that the younger kids wear. So I've had that, and I think when I was like 5 or 6, I got the implant. I can text my mom and ask.
Which one do you use? Which brand of?
Um, so at first, the first one we got was Saphono,
Mhm.
and we used them for a little bit, but they kind of like tinkered off the Baja side, and so then that's when we made the switch with Cochlear. But the interesting thing is with the implant that I have, it's actually the magnet's actually more like a rectangle, and the Baja is the circular magnet, and so we didn't know if I would have to get a new implant or not, but it ended up actually just working just fine with the square magnet, and then me just using the circle one.
Yeah, you have the Attract.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So just curious, everyone on tonight, does everyone wear a bone anchored hearing device? Just nod or raise your hands. Okay. So Maddie is excited to join the group. Looks like everyone else does wear a hearing device. And I think that's great. Just like with Allie disappeared. Sorry, guys. I'm sure she'll be back. I too advocated for her as her parent to make sure that she was hearing her best. And, you know, she continues to wear a bone anchored hearing device. So I'm glad that each and every one of you found a bone anchored hearing device. There's a lot of people in our community, they've never heard of it. Maybe they haven't gone to an audiology appointment in a long time and they're struggling with their hearing and they just really don't know what to do. But a bone anchored hearing device can really give you your life back. It can create a whole opportunity that you've been missing out on. So I'm a firm believer in these devices helping you guys hear. So I'm really happy seeing everyone who wears the hearing devices. All right, who has another question? Raise your hand. Chime in.
I was gonna say I don't have a question, but I just texted my mom and she texted me back. So I was 4.5 years old when I got the implant, but I've been wearing the head strap
Yeah.
when since or like the softband since I was 4 months old. So I was pretty young when I started using it. And then also like talking about like implants, um we are thinking about getting the new, I don't know how to pronounce, like OSA, the OSIA.
The Asia?
The Ossia, there it is, that implant. So I'm really wanting to get that because I've heard a lot of great things about that, and the sound quality is a lot better. Plus you won't plus I think it'll be like the appearance, since it'll be slimmer, will be a little bit better, and hopefully I'll be able, like in the future, if I ever have to wear a helmet or whatever, I could put that over it since it'll be, slimmer to my head.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, I know you guys maybe don't know this, but you know, we've been running Ear Community for 14 and a half years now. And during that time, oh my goodness, hearing devices have come a long way since when, like Ben, when you were first aided, and Maddie, I mean, Allie, they went from analog to digital devices. And now as we're talking about the magnetically implanted plate, that is really amazing. And they are a lower profile and you don't have to wear the headband. They've really come a long way. And the hearing quality is also very clear. So all the devices that are out there, there's the Cochlear Ossia, there's the Medell Bone Bridge, and then there's the Oticon Medical Sentio. And these are in addition to the bone anchored hearing devices with the abutments that like Maddie was talking about before. They're all absolutely incredible. And like I said, they truly give you guys your lives that you want to live and participate in and be a part of. Because if you don't know that you're missing out on sound, that's one thing, because a lot of members in our community do manage to get by, especially if they have a unilateral hearing loss. But they're truly missing out on so much. And I think most of you, when you do wear hearing devices, you realize that, you know, Allie, come back here. You realize that there's bird sounds and leaves rustling in the wind and people whispering that you didn't even pick up on. It's incredible the sounds that you didn't even realize you were missing out on, because you guys don't know any better. You're just hearing through what you were born with, you know? So I'm really proud of all of you for considering a hearing device. It's nothing scary at all, and it's only meant to help you. So, all right, who has another question? There must be other curiosities. This is the night to connect with everyone. All right, Maddie, hold on one second.
Okay,
Hold on one
sorry.
second. That's okay. So AC, unmute yourself. There you go.
You guys,
Hi,
okay. Hi.
we can hear you.
Okay, I do have a question.
Yeah.
Ben, how do you hear? Like with the headphones?
With the headphones.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have you know, so I mainly just hear out of my left side, and actually on my computer, I have more sound directed to the left side of my headphone. So it's just an app that I can run, and so it just boosts the sound, so it's a little bit easier. Um, but there is like an app that you can get on your computer, and then you just plug like a thing in your computer that plugs in your hearing aid, and it like will transfer sound to your hearing aid. But I find like if I'm playing video games, it um it doesn't really, like, you can't really tell which directions are which. And even for me right now, because I can't really hear out of one ear, like sounds in general, like I can't tell direction from, but especially if I do it just straight from my hearing aid, it's even worse.
Okay. And what app do you use?
It's it's not, let me see. Oh, it's in the so it's, I don't know if you know it, like the Razer headphones, but it's
Yeah.
so they it's in that app. You
Okay.
you can just change the audio settings.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Okay. Interesting. Okay. And I actually have a question for everybody in the group. Do you guys, okay, who here has one side with Microtia atresia and one side with, well, who has two, okay, who has one side with Microtia atresia? Who here has one side?
Raise your hand.
Okay, interesting, okay. So you guys have which side? Are you guys like, okay, raise your hand, which side is the one with it? Okay. So, right.
So
Right,
Right.
yeah, it's right.
Interesting, okay.
Well,
Interesting.
what are you? All right,
I'm both.
you're both. Okay.
bilateral. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. Okay.
These are
So
great questions. Thank
Mhm.
you.
So what you said, you have an implant?
I don't. Just have the hearing aid here. I still have the headband. I still
Okay,
wear
so like the
headband.
softband. Got it.
Yeah.
Do you plan on getting an implant, or are you just going to stick with the softband?
Maybe, but I don't know. Personally, it's just that it would be too much of a hassle, like to maybe like with the things that come after surgery, right? And it's just I'm very active. It's just
Mhm.
easier to take off a band, and like people
Yeah.
barely notice it. People just say,
You've got great hair for it.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say
Totally
the
like
long hair
covers
helps.
it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I bet keeping track of, because even for me, keeping track of one hearing aid is kind of already enough. I bet,
Yeah.
doing two on both sides, that can be a bit of
Yeah.
hassle.
Yeah. And like I was gonna ask that. Do you guys, I'm curious because I always have this problem, like, do you guys hear this like whispering noise. Like I hear like a pss, 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 pss. I don't know if that's just you. Okay. Okay. You do too? Okay, a little bit. Okay,
Well,
interesting.
I don't know, I'm confused. Are you talking
No,
about like from the hearing aid itself, like a?
like when you hear like just something, you hear something like it goes like pss, pss, that's what I'm talking. No? Okay.
No.
So you may want to take it into the audiologist and tell them that, like just describe what you're hearing. And they often can tweak the devices and maybe help make that go away. It might be just like something that's
Mhm.
going on with the device.
No, I mean like just
And
ever heard it before, right? Like because because I
Yeah.
used to hear it, but like I don't hear it now. It's just I'm just curious because I asked other people that can hear, right? They have both sides, they can hear perfectly fine. They've never heard it. They
Yeah.
don't, yeah, that's just
Well, and the devices are like all the different brands are, they're all the same, similar, but lots of people believe they all hear differently, when you try them all out.
yeah.
So sometimes there's a little bit more feedback on some of them. Maybe your hair is rustling up against it. I know some people in some of the colder states, they do say they hear a little bit of like a whistling during the colder days. So, you just, it's helpful to have a conversation with the audiologist and they might just be able to help. You never know. So real quick, we'll come back to you because I love your questions. Maddie, what were you trying to say?
Oh, I was just gonna go and get my glasses and then I was gonna show y'all my old hearing aid. So yeah, I'm gonna go get my glasses.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay. So real quick, along the lines, for the older kids, and Alexis, I know you're probably using this too, and Emma, you too at school. So when you're at school and you have to connect to the computer, what are you doing, with your hearing device? I know some of the kids use aftershocks. Some of them can pair it Bluetooth wise, but some of the kids have to connect manually into the
Mhm.
computer with just the headphones. Ben, what are you doing to get through this at school? Because it is a challenge when you have a hearing device on and you have hearing loss and you're trying to figure out, now you have to connect with the computer. This is an ongoing troubleshooting thing for a
Mhm.
lot of families.
Yeah, so for me, I've always I used to do like a thing where manually put it in, but once like I started having my own phone and you know, I and when I got the new Baja, which has like Bluetooth and you can change all the settings, but I found out like sometimes in certain scenarios in different classrooms, I'll change it, not constantly, but every now and then. And so I always like have it on my desk, and I just told my teachers, hey, it'll be if we're watching like a video on Google Classroom or doing this assignment, it'll be so much easier if I can just go through my phone and go on Google Classroom through my phone, watch the video, and just watch it that way since it'll be like directly streamed to my hearing aid. That's what I like always done since, and all my teachers know it, and I've like almost every single teacher I've had, I've built really great relationships and trust with, so like they don't think I'm off, just watching random videos on my phone.
Yeah.
But and so that's what I do. I just normally use my phone and they're fine with it.
And do you have a Apple, an iPhone or a,
Yeah, I have
Android?
an
You
Apple
have an
iPhone.
iPhone? Okay. What, Hallie? I can't speak. No, ask a question real quick. You're shy? You want to try? Look, everybody on here is very brave. Do you want to try? Just give it a shot. Ask a question.
Well, it's kind of complicated for me to say.
Well, what do you want to say then?
Basically, I'm just wondering, like, for most of them, like, currently on there, like, do they all basically have, like, their actual left ear that actually works with their right ear?
Yeah, it sounds like, is it AC that you want to go by? AC asked that question, and everybody on here seems to have their right ear that has microtia, just like you. And then he's bilateral.
But I'm the only one with my left ear that works.
Well, so the right ear has microtia, but the left ear is not affected.
So are you
It's their
basically
better hearing ear.
so are you basically saying that their right ears are the ones that work better?
No, the right ear is missing, just like yours.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were trying to say it the other way around.
No. All right, so Maddie is back. She's got her glasses. What do you have for us?
Oh, I don't wear this now, but I used to wear this in 5th grade. I have a tiny control box, but it's in my memory box, so I don't have that with me. But here's my old memory plan. So I have like a custom headband, and then
Nice headband. Allie has one too. She's got unicorns on.
yeah, I used to in 5th grade. I used to get like little Starbucks drinks, and they were like little charms. I used to put them right there. Yeah, this is the hearing. It's brown because it matches my hair, but I don't. One thing that I don't really like about this is I have really thick hair, so if my hair like touches it, it'll start beeping.
Yeah, that feedback.
I have that.
And AC, since you have, I know that you have like pretty long hair. Does that happen to you too?
Did you ask? AC?
Only like sometimes. It depends, really. Not often. That's the only reason I have it this long because it hasn't bothered it so far. So far, I think
Yeah,
any
'cause
longer it will.
yeah, I know like for me, and I because like I have pretty curly hair, so it like will like really surround the hearing aid. So if I, leave my hair pretty long, go like start rustling. I'll hear like rustling noise if I'm, turning.
But
Yeah, that little squeal, that little
Mhm.
feedback sound. Yeah.
I think it's universal though, like for us to like put on a helmet or put on like a hoodie or something, like if there's too much, if it's too
Yeah.
close, it
hmm
starts vibrating or you start hearing noise. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same thing with it. That's one thing. Like whenever I wear a hoodie, I have to. I don't take it off. I just like turn my hearing aid off through my phone.
Okay.
So, but that's what I do like a lot. If there's like if I'm like doing schoolwork or whatever, I tend to just turn my hearing aid off. But only if I'm doing it like by myself. If it's like individual work, I'll just turn it off and just listen to music, and
Okay.
it just helps me focus. That's one
Okay.
thing I really like about this one that I have, the Baja.
So, hats and glasses. I know, Maddie, you have your glasses. Do you guys have complications wearing the glasses or putting hats on? I know, Ben, you said with the thinner device now, it's a lot easier, under a helmet and everything. But AC, are you able to wear a hat, or is that when it's one of the times you just have to remove, your Bajas? Or do you have a hat that you put them in physically, where you can wear the hat with them?
I used to actually when I was younger, we would always like cut these holes out of the
Mhm.
hats, like always put them because they stick out, right?
Yeah.
Recently I either wear like a cap, like a smaller cap so it doesn't reach over my hearing aids, or if I wear a hoodie, make sure it's just surrounding myself because I can't turn them off, unfortunately, or I just go fully, I'm just deaf completely. I can't hear anything. So it's just gotta deal with it, right? Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and with being bilateral hearing loss, do you have one of those buzzers in your bed for your alarm? Because you bring
Uh
up a good point. When you can't wear certain things and you have to remove your ears, basically, what are the things are you doing to still be able to wake up in the mornings and, get by and
it's funny because it's funny because I can't hear anything when I go to sleep, right? It's also a blessing because I have a little brother, right? And he could hear perfect, right? But like if it's noisy, he's so annoyed, but I'm sleeping like a baby, right?
yeah,
How do I wake up? I'm gonna be honest, I don't have like anything specifically to tell me because alarms don't wake me up. Nothing wakes me up normally. I've been training myself to like wake up at a certain time. It's like kind of just jump awake, and that's just how I do it. I can't explain it. It's just kind of just wake up. I
it's
just
your inner clock. Yep.
yeah, that's kind of how I do it. It's kind of difficult to put like something. 'Cause I remember my family tried putting alarms and stuff like that. Didn't work. I never wake up. I sleep like a baby. So yeah, yeah, it's yeah. So that's the only way I have to do it. Just kind of wake myself up.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. This is so during like summer and spring and stuff, I don't use this because during like winter time my ear actually gets like clogged up. I don't know why, but
Okay.
because I have like a really small ear canal, so it gets clogged up really easily and it stays like that for like 3 months and I can't hear the alarm on my phone. So then that's why I put this under my bed and then it jumps me. It
Yeah.
wakes me right up because
Yeah.
it's the buzzing from like the alarm itself is really loud, but also because it just vibrates my whole bed to wake me up. But I'm the
Mhm.
same way. I sleep like a baby and I live in Florida, and I live somewhat near the coast, but I live on the water, and we get like a lot of rainstorms
Mm.
and thunderstorms, and I sleep right through them. I don't hear them at all, and a lot of times my mom will um, you know, ask me in the morning, "You sleep okay?" I was like, "I slept like a baby." Why? She goes, "Well, we had a big thunderstorm." I was like, "I did not know that."
Yeah.
Because I can't hear it at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Alexis, we'll get to you in 1 second, and Maddie, you too. I just wanted to comment on, so Allie also has a very narrow ear canal in her unaffected ear. And Ben, she too, so due to sticky earwax, it often gets clogged.
Yeah.
And so there are days where she is, in a way, bilateral hearing loss. She really is clogged up, cannot
Mhm.
hear. It's basically like a head cold or congestion, and if she doesn't have her, we wear Ponto. If she doesn't have the Ponto device on, then she really can't hear that well at all. So
I'm the
there's a
same
lot of
exact way.
people in our community that they might have unilateral hearing loss, but it's still a challenge. Like there's
Hmm.
always something else thrown in, but there are many of you guys that have a narrow ear canal. And
Mhm.
it gets clogged up, just like you said. And it's not what's called sticky ear. It's just, whether it's earwax or inflammatory, something going on with allergies, it can become very frustrating. So
Yeah.
you're not alone.
Mhm. Yeah,
We
and for me, yeah, so for me it's like clockwork every year. It's around the same time. It clogs up, and no matter what I do, I can't hear. Um and like sometimes what my mom will do, like if it's like during the summer or whatnot, we'll take mineral oil, pour it down my ear, and then take like paper towels, and that normally will like clear it up. But during like the winter or whatever, normally it's like so bad. It's just, like, I just don't even try. And it lasts for like two months until like I don't know what it is, but it just clears right up. Just one day I wake up and I'm like, oh, I can hear better again.
Well, thank God for that, right? That it
Mhm.
does clear up. All right, Alexis, what are you wanting to ask?
So,
What were you gonna, do you have a question or do you have something to say?
so,
Was it about the fire department? Okay.
so, one day I said, no, the fireman right next to my school, we were having a safety day, and we were talking about bed shakers. So they help kids who have very hard time waking up. And I raised my hand, and one of the firemen said yes. I said, so I'm hearing loss. I really don't have the bed shakers. And the fire department said, okay, we will try to program one for you someday soon. And we have to change the batteries. We probably don't have the batteries right now to charge it. And this was in 6th grade. I always, when it was a school day, I put my alarm for 6 o'clock because I usually sleep sound like a baby when I'm sleeping on my right ear most of the
Yes.
time.
You guys get some of the best sleep in the world. Like, yeah. You have the option, if you don't want to hear any yelling or screaming from siblings or alarms going off, that you could just turn over or take your ears off. I'm envious, trust me. So Maddie, what were you wanting to tell us?
So with my glasses, I got them special made So, well, this side it's like melted, so it like fits on my ear really
Mhm.
good. So it doesn't really fall off. And then on this side, it's not really as bent. So I just thought that was like really cool.
That is awesome. Allie has, we've had a couple of glasses over the years. They're very lightweight, flexible frames, and they just kind of press in slightly and stay up. They're enough to stay up over the little lip of her ear. So we've managed to get by with finding glasses like that too. So these are all great tips. Emma, what would you like to share with us?
So I have Microtia in my left ear, and then I have bilateral hearing, and then I have a traditional hearing loss, and then I have a traditional aid in my right ear,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have a Baja, or not Baja, a Poncha.
Mhm.
I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh, I have a question. Does anybody here from their poncho or from their Baja or whatever we have, do y'all get headaches?
Does anyone else who wears the bone anchored hearing devices get headaches from time to time?
It's I don't know, it varies. If I leave it on for too long, maybe sometimes, but I don't, especially I used to have a stronger magnet than the one I did right now, and because I went from a weaker one, but it kind of like kept falling off if I did like simple head shakes, and then I went to a stronger one, it would stay on like really, really well. But I realized I was getting a lot more headaches from it, so then I had to switch back down to a weaker magnet. But if I leave it on all day, then typically, yeah, like towards the end of the day, I might start getting a headache, or just this side is a little irritated. But normally I don't have it on 24/7 like that, so I typically don't.
Yeah, well, I think you're not alone, Ben. Even some individuals in our community wear the hard wire headbands too, and those also like cause a little bit of pressure. It's almost like wearing a headband, or for girls that wear a ponytail. You know, by the end of the day, when you let the ponytail down, oh my gosh, it really does kind of hurt.
Mhm.
So, you know, go ahead, AC.
Emma, when do you get your headaches? Like when? Like how do you get your headaches? Like when will you say, is it from, do you think it's from the hearing aids or hearing devices? So yeah.
Yeah, for a while my parents thought it was from the radiation,
Mm,
but now that we're like more like informative, or we have more information, we're pretty sure it's from the headache. From
okay,
not the headache, from the hearing aid.
okay. What type of headache do you think you have? Like sharp headache or like pressing headaches? What type of headache?
Like just all kinds. Like
Okay,
it depending like at different times it's different headache.
okay, interesting. Okay. Mm, all right.
Yeah, and sometimes loud sounds can cause headaches. It could be our diet, like a sugar rush. It's very hard to tell, but I think I would say individuals with hearing aids, it commonly happens. So I think most of you probably just take them off, right, for a break when that happens, when you have a headache, if you can, if you're someplace where you don't need to hear, you know, and you can just like relax, you probably just take them off to feel a bit better.
So
And
But
then a lot of the individuals that have the magnet, you're right. There's usually 6 different strengths of magnets. You have to find the one that feels good, but also
yeah.
stays on.
Mhm.
Because when you do move to that stronger strength magnet, it absolutely can cause some pressure.
Yeah. So right now, I think what I was talking about, I had a 4 at first, and that was a little too weak, and then I went straight to a 6. But right, and then that was a little too much. But right now, I have a 5 that I use.
Good. And I'm glad that you're trying to experiment with that and find what feels best, you know?
Mhm.
So it's nice that the companies offer different options.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So I have a question for all of you. I mean, I think this is pretty common, but there's a lot of individuals in our community that, you know, they don't want to wear a hearing device. Maybe they're getting by just fine, or at least they feel that they're hearing fine. It sounds like a lot of us on this call tonight really truly do struggle with our hearing. You know, whether you're bilateral and you need aids or you can't hear, or you just, there came a point in time where you're at school, you're missing out on conversation or something. So I'm just happy to hear how important the hearing loss part is. Would you guys say that hearing loss may be more important or more of a challenge than microtia?
Yeah, I would say so. Because like, yeah,
It's
I
not
would say
like
the
you
hearing
talk
loss
about
thing.
your little ear
Yeah,
all the time, every day. And now that you're
yeah.
older, you've accepted your ear and
Mhm.
or you wear shaggy hair, you know, you get by, but when you can't hear, that's a challenge.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah, I
little
agree.
intimidating when you're missing out, right?
Yeah, and I remember there was one time where my hearing aid actually broke, and it was fourth grade. Yeah, I still remember this day exactly. It was fourth grade, and I didn't have my hearing aid for like 2.5 weeks, and I finally had gotten it back, and I heard this like humming. I don't know if I told you the story, all right, but heard this. Goodness, I heard this humming, and I couldn't figure out what it was, and I thought I was like crazy or whatever, and it kept happening, and finally like said something, and the teacher's like talking about the air conditioner. I was like, is that what it is? It's just like, yeah, it's because the whole 2.5 weeks I couldn't hear the air conditioner going on, and the day I got back with the hearing aid, I could hear it. And so that's one thing, but also it's also because um I think it was that day I also got a new hearing aid. Like it was my first time in school with the new hearing aid. Because I think I had two different Saphono hearing aids and then two different Bahas. And every time I've gotten a new hearing aid, it's always been an improvement. Like sound quality is better, and like every single time, it's just a little more crispy, a little better definition, and it's crazy the improvements they make every single time they had it. Because I remember before with the Saphonos, they were a little bit longer and that like weird looking shape, and they would stick out. And then the next one they had was a little bit slimmer, and then I went to Baja, and they finally had GPS and could connect it to your phone, but it wasn't really truly Bluetooth, like couldn't play audio. And then the Baja 6 Max, the one that I have right now, it was like this one's a lot slimmer, has Bluetooth, the hearing or the sound quality is so much better than what my original implant had. So yeah.
AC, do you have anything to add to that?
No, actually, I was thinking about it. You know, it'd be nice if we could have waterproof, like actually waterproof hearing devices. Like you can go, you can get wet, you can do all that stuff without your hearing device just glitching out completely, right? Was it? Actually, I do have a question.
Mhm.
Okay, wait. So it's Ben, Emma, Maddie, and what's the last one?
There's Reed
Reed. Okay,
and then Alexis.
Alexis. Okay.
And then
Okay.
of course, Allie.
Okay. Okay. Okay, now, guys, ketchup or mustard? Okay. Which one? Ketchup or mustard? That's like I have to ask that. I have to figure out what side are you guys on? Ketchup or mustard?
Allie would
100%
say
ketchup.
ketchup.
Ketchup. I like mustard, but not that much.
Yeah, I have like a weird thing. I'll eat like wavy potato chips and I'll dip them in ketchup.
Interesting. Okay.
That's an
Sounds delicious.
interesting mix.
That's really good.
Yeah, okay.
Emma, are you mustard or ketchup?
Ketchup.
There we
Yeah,
go.
okay.
That's the answer.
Yeah. Okay.
Are we your group of people, AC?
Yes, yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
Good job.
Good, so there we go.
Last
like that
much
answer.
said both at the same time.
So I have a question, and you guys totally don't have to answer this. This was on my list to ask. It's not so much for the younger gals and Reed who are on the call, but for AC and for Ben. You know, there might be a lot of younger kids and even kids your age or just slightly older. They're really shy and worried about dating. You know, have you guys had girlfriends or boyfriends? You know, how do you are you doing great? You know, I mean, because it's scary to date anyways. But I just wanted to ask, and if you don't, that's okay, you know? But I know a lot of members in the community, they've written in, they're too shy, they're scared to date. You know, they don't know what to do. If you guys are dating, maybe you can just give them some words of advice, you know?
Wait, Ben. Do you have a girlfriend? That's the main question. Do you have a girlfriend?
Not at the moment,
Not at
but
the moment.
But you
Ooh,
have. Okay.
but I have, yes.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We dated for 9 months.
Okay.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah.
That's great. And she cared for you just the way you are.
No,
Right?
she was.
Okay.
Yeah, she was like my mom when I was younger. My mom would always nibble on my ears. She like loved messing with it,
Aw.
and she was pretty much the same way.
I nibble on Allie's ear all the time. So
My mom used to do that until I got old enough to tell her to not do that.
back off.
Yeah,
AC, do you
but
get your ears nibbled on by a
No.
girlfriend or your mother?
No. That's interesting, but no, I've never had that. Some people do play with them. They'll like to like mess around with them.
yeah.
Ben,
Some of my friends want to like flick them or just like touch it. Just I'm like,
yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah. I mean, because I guess
Maybe that's just boys. You guys
Yeah.
are always hitting each other. And
Ben, I have to ask, if you don't mind me asking, right? Because I know it's personal, whatever. Uh, did, because you say you had a girlfriend, right?
hmm
And I'm assuming you guys broke up, right?
hmm
Was it due to your hearing loss, or was it due to just other personal reasons?
No, it was just due to other personal reasons. I
And
said,
yeah, keep going.
yeah, really like me having a hearing loss never played into like us dating or anything like that. And if like sometimes like I don't know how like y'all are, but um I kind of like dark humor. Like me and my friends, we'll make fun of each other. Sometimes they'll throw like shade at me having like a small ear, having a hearing loss, but I'll like throw shade right back at them. But it's all like friendly joking, and it was kind of like the same thing. But yeah, me having a hearing loss had nothing to do with us breaking up or anything like that.
Interesting. And actually, that now goes into what I was gonna say is that for everybody here, everybody who's thinking about has anybody, and I'm not saying for everybody, there's always different factors to dating, right? You'll be surprised how little people really care that you
Oh
have
yeah.
and
Yes.
sometimes they don't even know you have it, right? Until like
Mm-hmm.
a year or two, or even just a couple of days. It could be they don't even know you had it, maybe even your whole friendship, right? And it's just that I say that like for dating, just go for it. I mean, if the person is mean to you just because of your hearing loss, then they're just not worth it. They're not worth your
Yeah.
time. And just yeah.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that because I've met people and I thought they knew. I just I never said anything to them, but I met them through like other friends. I just thought they knew that I had a small ear, and it comes out like a week or two later that what's up with your ear? I was like, oh, I was born with it. You never like, and they had just realized. There was one kid, that I knew, and we were probably friends for several months. And I'd been over to his house a couple times before he like fully realized that, I had Microtia atresia. And I
wow.
was, yeah, I was, like I said, people really just don't like cool, it's a cool thing, but I see you like any other person and they just like get over the fact like real quick.
Well, and that's how it should be. We have a lot of members of the community. They're adults, they're in their 40s or 50s. And, say, for example, I know one in general in Canada, he's a real estate agent, a realtor. And he kind of found a point in time where he was ready to share his journey. He was a little quiet about it all those years. Finally, mid-40s, he opened up, and people that he knew for years through childhood had no idea. Had no idea
Really?
he was missing an ear. So sometimes it's other things. It's like the hearing device that maybe draws attention, or
Mhm.
just simply having hearing loss and asking for people to repeat things or missing out on things. It's not always about microtia. So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
And as for the dating, I know AC wants to ask another question. As for dating, there's so many members in our group, some of them who were going to be on tonight, they're in medical school, or they're musicians, they're on music scholarships, and they're doing great. They're thriving, listening to music, they're, dating. And I always, there's a Daniel, he's in Texas. He's super kind, and he's a handsome young man, and I always tell him he's going to get a hottie someday. So you guys are just, you're great. I mean, I love our community, and everyone is, we're all just regular kids. It's it's all good, and I love hearing all the positivity in the group tonight, and it's so important to share, that it is going to be okay. So there's not always great days all the time, but I mean, sharing your tips with computers and headphones, and this is what it's about, and just talking about dating. So AC, what else was on your mind?
I was just curious of everyone, right? It's just what would be like have any of you guys been like bullied or just been like pushed out of groups just because of your hearing loss? This is anybody here. I mean, if not, then just don't. But I'm just curious if anybody has.
No, like for me, it's never been like I said. It was that one kid that I talked about in
Mhm.
sixth grade, and we ended up becoming friends. But I've never really been bullied, and if I and like I said, like every now and then I'll hear like somebody say something, and you could like consider it rude, but I just like me, I genuinely just don't care what people have to say about me, and it just um, and I don't know like I don't know how I like developed that or just have the ability just to not care about it. I generally just don't care what people tend to say about me, especially like if it's about my ear. I'm like, okay, cool, and then I just let it go.
And that's
That
awesome,
that
Ben.
yeah.
There's a lot of people that they're devastated each time it's brought up,
Yeah. And
you know.
then yeah, and a lot of times like when people bring it up, it might sound rude, but like I said, they're just curious. And a
Yeah.
lot of times when people stare, it's because, they're curious. They've never seen anybody, with that before. And so that's generally why people stare or, will say something, and it's normally not to be rude. And if someone's saying something rude, you know, I don't know about anybody else, but me personally, I'd go up to them and I would talk to them about it. So
Mhm. And AC, I think there's just different situations that present. I've talked with a lot of adults in our community that some honestly feel discriminated against on the job.
Mm.
They feel like they didn't get that promotion because of maybe the way they feel they look or their hearing loss. Maybe they've chosen not to wear aids and they're not hearing overhead announcements and things. It's how each person sees that situation, but it makes me happy that you guys are on here tonight to even do this. You're all very brave, and to be able to talk about this. A lot of
Yeah.
people aren't willing. They're scared. You
Mhm.
guys are doing great.
yeah,
That's
I
actually
think
yeah,
are
sorry. Yeah.
you
No,
go ahead.
that's interesting, Ben, that you mentioned because you said somebody did talk to you. Did they bully you a little bit, right, for your hearing loss, right?
Are you talking about the kid that was like in when I was in sixth grade?
Yeah.
I'm like, they didn't like I knew that he was like you could say talking crap like before, and then we were in the or no, we were in the cafeteria, and then like he was starting to say it and he started saying it like straight to my face. So I went over there to speak with him nicely about it. But yeah, the teacher ended up just like not letting me go over there. And I was just gonna like generally I wasn't like trying to fight the kid or anything. I was just gonna talk to him. and figure out why he thought just like why he was doing it. But next year me and him had the same class, and are both on the baseball team, and he was like, oh yeah, he's just like any normal kid, and that's what people just have to realize. And then we became pretty good friends, and we're still friends to this day.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool because I have around the same exact experience that you do. There
Yeah.
was someone, and then I remember just talking to them, and they became my best friend too. So that's interesting. That's really interesting.
Um,
Yeah.
That's great, AC.
Yeah. So I got a question. Or who here? Anybody drive? Anybody else drive?
Well, I have
Or
my permit. So
permit?
yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations, Maddie. I
Yeah.
saw.
So AC, how old are you?
I'm 17, but
You're 17.
yeah, I'm scared to drive. Okay, guys,
You're
don't
scared
judge
to
me.
drive.
Okay? Yeah, I will get eventually, but I'm not in a rush. I ain't in a rush. Yeah.
So I don't know if like trying to think. It is kind of like obvious questions, but like when when you hear noise or whatever, like is it hard for y'all to also like tell where it's coming from? Because like for me, I have almost no situational awareness. Like if we were playing Manhunt, like there's this one game we play like Manhunt where every 2 minutes you have to scream,
Mm.
and um I have a pretty long driveway, and I someone screamed, and I thought I heard him in the garage. We have this huge giant garage that's in the front of our driveway, and I thought I heard it from coming up there, but in reality they were all the way down at the other end of our property, um near our house.
Mm. Okay.
So I was wondering if anybody else has that same thing.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if anybody else has this too, right? But it's definitely like it's hard to pinpoint when it is, where it is, right? Personally, I had to learn, like I had to actually focus, like clear my mind and like kind of like have an idea because I have both sides, right? So I can kind of have an idea where it's coming from, but it's not accurate. I can't fully know where it's coming from. And I remember we used to play like Marco Polo, right? And you know how you have to close your eyes.
Yeah.
And I will always be like, they're on my right, but they're on my left. So yeah, I do. It is,
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of the same. Yeah.
So Emma, when your mom calls for you, because you have hearing loss in both ears too, do you struggle like figuring out where her voice is coming from? Even if it's in the house or, outside at the park?
Um, sometimes, cause usually I like spot her before, like, when she's calling me from another room, I can usually hear her, even if I have just one hearing aid on, cause I hear her.
Mhm. Do you always know though which room she might be calling you from? Do you have to go kind of look for her
Sometimes.
sometimes? Yeah, so AC, this actually just came up recently on our support group about someone really being worried about driving and hearing because of their hearing loss, like in the car. And we're not talking about having windows down or radios on. I mean, just simply hearing like emergency vehicles coming down the road and just being exposed to any kind of traffic sounds, that the rest of us are all hearing, and the safety. So I think it's something that you're just going to have to learn to be a little bit more vigilant about. It goes back to almost like the reading lips, just be more of a visual learner, always using your mirrors. I know a lot of members of our community struggle having conversations in the car.
Uh, It's it's not because of the hearing loss. I'm just I'm not
Ah,
the greatest driver in the world.
ah,
That's
you're just scared in general. Okay.
yeah. I think actually there is one like vehicle I always wanted to drive, right? It's a motorcycle. I always want to learn to drive a motorcycle. But the only see that goes to like I have to wear a helmet, but I can't wear my hearing aids. So that kind of goes into like I can't hear around me, right? So that's kind of yeah, that's where it would be. But yeah.
Yeah. I know there was an article that was released a couple years ago. I think it was through Gallaudet University, the deaf university. I think they worked with, if it wasn't T-Mobile, it was AT&T. The football team had Bluetooth through the helmets.
Yeah.
So the technology it's there. It's coming. So like maybe someday with a motorcycle, it'll be able, I mean, it's already in the cars, hands-free. When you're wearing your hearing devices and you start driving a car someday, you can hear through the whole system. But like for a motorcycle, it's possible, it'll be in a helmet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hopefully, and then maybe it'll be easier to drive a motorcycle in the future, right?
Mhm.
Technology improves.
Just be careful. Just be careful.
Yeah.
No, I've always wanted to, have a motorcycle, but my parents 100% against it.
Yep.
And that's one thing I've always wanted. But you know, right now I just have a truck, and they let me do pretty much everything else. We have boats and things like that, but just our motorcycles just off the limits.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I want to go back to the question real quick about hair. Like I said, you guys have great hair, curly hair, shaggy hair, covering ears and hearing devices. But for the girls, so I know girls can, cover their ears with their hair. We don't want you to cover your ears. We want you to be proud of who you are. But Emma, you're a lot like Allie. She wears ponytails a lot. So you're okay with that, right? You like wearing?
I wear mostly braids. I'll
Mhm.
either wear my hair in a braid or I rarely have it down. But I do not like having it down because then it covers my hearing aid and then it like messes with it. And then it's just a lot.
Yeah. Maddie, I know you have beautiful long hair, but do you like to wear it up in a ponytail? Do you feel comfortable, doing that? Or do you just like to wear your hair down? Which is totally fine.
Yeah, I normally wear it like whenever I'm concentrating like really hard in math or something, I just want it out of my face and then I'll wear like a bun or something. And then during soccer, I'll probably just do a ponytail.
So do you wear it like during soccer too, or do you?
Like the hearing aid?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't wear my hearing aid at all, which I probably should. But I just don't really, well, this is the only hearing aid that I have. So
Okay.
headband, it gives me like a really bad headache, so I don't really like to wear it that much. And, like, so I had surgery, so I have like a scar right here, and it like really irritates me sometimes with the headband on. And I haven't worn the headband in a really long time. So whenever I went to Nashville to do like the hearing test, it was like really hard to have the hearing aid on because I wasn't used to like hearing that much better. So like I was really sensitive. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And Alexis, you said when you play volleyball that you just remove your hearing device because you're afraid of getting hit in the head or it breaking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good thing, like I don't know about y'all, but I've dropped mine a lot. It's like a Lego. Just the battery will come out and the magnet will fall off. I just have to like scavenge around and look for it, and then it just works every time.
You're a boy too.
Yeah,
You guys like are so rough on things, but I'm happy to hear that it keeps working.
yeah.
So,
I
yes,
dropped it too much.
yes, Emma.
For the girls, whenever somebody's talking to you and then you're brushing, like somebody's brushing your hair or messing with your hair, can you hear the person that's talking to you?
Over the sound that your hair
Mm-hmm.
is making while they're
Like you
messing with your
can,
hair.
yeah, you can like hear it.
Mhm.
Mm,
That's horrible.
really think that's happening, but like during soccer, someone will like braid my hair and it's like really distracting, honestly. But like I can still hear them.
Yeah.
Cause I know like when my mom does my hair, or occasionally like if my mom's not home, my dad will do my hair. Um, and then they're brushing my hair, and they're doing my hair, and then they're trying to talk to me, and then they're like all the way behind me, and then you're like I can't see their face, and then like I'll have to have them repeat, or I'll just have them stop brushing my hair entirely. I'll say stop, stop, and then I'll just look at them and then have them repeat what they just said.
So her hair is all the way down to her bottom almost. She's got very long hair. Or when I do it for dance competitions, because she has to have it in a bun.
Yeah. Well, and Emma, that's a great point because, you know, hearing loss is different for everyone. And even if you have a hearing device on, it is amplifying the sound and someone's messing with your hair, but they're behind you. And I can imagine that that would drive you a little crazy, you know, at some point where you have to say, stop,
Yeah.
look at me, or stop touching my hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. So 2 more questions and we'll call it a night. I am absolutely happy to have these more often for the community. And again, like I said, I hope we see you guys at our picnics. But couple more questions and we'll call it a night. I know some of you guys are on the East Coast. Yes, Alexis?
So this is not a question. So I got bullied about my ear. So what happened was people were saying, don't be Alexis' friend. Her little ear will affect you for having no hearing. And that really hurt my feelings so much.
They actually told the other students that they would catch her Microtia if they were to be around her. Yeah.
I'm so sorry that you experienced that. That's awful. And it's not true. And that's ridiculous for them to even think that.
Yeah, some people don't think.
That's right, Alexis. Some people don't think before speaking. Yeah. So again, I'm sorry that you went through that.
For me, it's now a laughing matter now because forget the past, be the past.
Perfectly said.
Be the
That's
past.
a great point for all of us to live by. Good. Any other questions?
With like I do soccer and I'm like very like I play forward and center mid and I also do tennis. So I run a lot and I like get ringing in my ear. I'm not, like my hearing will go like in and out, and then I went to Nashville like during the specialist and everything, and it said that it was like normal, but I'm still having like really like problems during soccer. Yeah.
Yeah, so Maddie, Allie has tinnitus. She has ringing in her ear as well. It actually happens multiple times throughout the week for her. And it doesn't even have to be a loud sound that would set it off. It's kind of like what you said, it kind of comes and goes.
Yeah.
So hearing loss is very interesting. There's a lot of different moving components to it. And again, everyone's brains process their hearing uniquely, you know. So if somebody has the same hearing loss you have, and they're even missing the same ear canal, it doesn't always mean that they're hearing like you are. They might be doing worse than you. They might be excelling more than you. It's just, it is really, hearing loss is very interesting. So what do you do to try to get around the ringing? I mean, do you stop running? Do you just power through it? What do you try to do? Because Allie gets very, very frustrated
Yeah.
by it.
Well, in like games, I'll just push through it, and it'll like whenever I don't take a break, I'll kind of like go longer, like the room will go longer. But whenever I'm at like practice, like the coaches know what I have and everything, so I'll just like step to the side and just let it stop.
And it probably lasts what, anywhere from minutes to, I mean, does it go as long as a half hour or longer?
No, it'll just like go on and off, and I hold both of my ears, which helps a lot.
Yeah. So I was speaking with a specialist recently, and a bone conduction hearing device is supposed to help with tinnitus or tinnitus. And so hopefully when you have your surgery, maybe a little bit of that will improve for you. But I was definitely told this by the expert. So hopefully you have that to look forward to. Thank
you.
Yeah. Well, guys, each and every one of you, I think, are amazing role models. And I thank you for your advocacy and being on tonight. I really hope that you all enjoyed meeting somebody in the community. I don't really know how many, I know, like, for example, Ben said it. Maddie, you met other individuals for the first time this summer at our New Orleans picnic, right? I mean, AC, was this beneficial for you tonight to be able to come together and meet others, you know, just like you and have something in common to talk about?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting because I don't meet a lot of people with the same condition I have. So yeah.
Yeah. So you know, I just, as a parent, as an advocate, I don't ever want you guys to feel alone. You know, I hope that you always remember you have our entire community here. And you know, our situation is unique on its own. At one point in Allie's elementary school, there were 11 children that had microtia and atresia. And she had 3 in her class. She had great friends, Zlata, Larissa, and her, and they all were missing the same ear, wearing the same hearing devices. It was as if we lived in our own bubble. I mean, it's interesting. And, you know, if you're wondering, no, it's not in the water, you know, and it's not that certain individuals live here. No, these families came from all over. You know, we're here in Colorado. It was just happened to be that we had a number of individuals in our school that all had microtia and atresia, which is not the case in most individuals' situation. Yes, Emma?
Does anyone have an Instagram?
Anyone have an Instagram account?
Yeah.
Want to connect with Emma?
Yeah, I also have a TikTok. My TikTok name is Ben with a little ear too.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then all of my usernames, so like online, like in Epic Games and Fortnite and stuff like that, it's the kid, what is it? Hold on, let me pull it up. I think it's the kid
Own
with the
it,
little ear.
Ben.
The kid with the little ear. That's yeah, that's what my
Way to own it. See, guys, it's it's all how you look at it. I mean, as
No,
parents, we can never walk in your shoes.
Mhm.
Okay. But it really makes us feel so wonderful to hear you guys just owning it.
Yeah, I bet it was exciting for you too.
Want to send their Instagram to you, and then you can share it out.
Yeah, I'm happy to connect all of you. I would just ask that you each reach out to me so that I don't send a mass email out to everyone who wanted to join and they're like, I didn't want anyone to have my email. So just reach out to me. You have my email and I would be happy to put all of you in touch with each other. AC, where are you? What state are you in?
I'm in Ohio.
Ohio, okay. So we've had 4 events in Ohio over the years.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Columbus and Cincinnati. And we were due for another picnic at some point. When we come back around, maybe that's something, would you be interested in hosting with your family?
Yeah,
It doesn't cost you any money. Your community pays for everything. but a lot of like Ben, you know, it's just a wonderful opportunity to bring the community together, and you get to be the host of your event.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, definitely send me like the information, what I need to do and stuff like that. No.
Yeah. You can even talk to Ben. It's pretty easy. It's just like planning for like a birthday party in the park.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much what I would describe it as, birthday party in a park.
Yeah.
Just, you know, just get all the food out there, and then you just give like a little speech, and you just go and talk to everybody.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's a really cool
Yeah.
experience just meeting all the, and it's also especially because like we're older, and I know the picnic that we hosted, there was a lot of people, like I say most of the kids were just like 5 and under. And I think it's also like a lot of parents need to hear it from a kid who has microtia and who's older, that you know their kid is going to turn out all right. And you know that,
Yeah.
I know I said it like a couple times, but you know, the kid's just going to be like any other kid, and that's what I know my mom struggled with, and I think you said that too. You know, you kind of freaked out at first, and you know, just really worried.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what you guys are role models, honestly. So when I was looking at preschools for Allie, when she was just a baby, I got to tour a preschool that we ended up actually putting her in. And there was this little girl, Ileana, bilateral microtia and atresia, and she came right up to me signing and saying her name, saying, "Hi, my name's Ileana. Today is my birthday." And she had come back from the school office. They took her picture, you know, for her birthday. And as a parent, I can't tell you how much that meant to me to see a little girl, a little older than mine. It gave me the confidence that my little girl is going to be okay. And these kids, they look up to you guys. They do, because they're scared and they're lost and they're alone too. And for them to see somebody who's doing okay or looking pretty cool, or you've kind of been there, done that, that means the world to them, especially to have a conversation with someone in that same situation. It means so much. And you can't get this by going to a doctor's appointment. You know, no one can put anyone in touch, but you can always find someone through our community. All right. I'm going to call it as a wrap, guys. Is that it? We're good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like I said, I'm happy to have these events other times. This was our first teen event. I think we did great. It's good to get you guys to meet others and talking. We had discussed a lot of great information, lots of great tips and questions that I wanted to make sure you guys had, you know, not just me putting a list together. So I'm really happy that we did this tonight. So, okay, I want to thank everyone for your time. And again, thank you for being you. You know, thank you for your bravery. However you look at it, thank you for joining us tonight and doing this. I think this was wonderful. And I really hope you guys all cross paths at some point, an event, or one of these other virtual events. And thank you. I hope that you guys just keep doing great. Okay.
Yeah.
And
All
if,
right.
if
Well,
there's
yeah.
anything that you need, or you have a bad day or a struggle or something, please know that you can always reach out. Okay, whether you want to talk to one of my board members who has microtia and atresia as an adult, whether you want to be put in touch with someone your age, you know, someone else to talk to, or another parent if you don't feel comfortable speaking to your own parents, just know that we're a community and we're here. We're here to help. All right, guys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You want to say hi? It's all right.
Hi, Natasha.
This is my mom.
Hello. Sorry. I just got out of the shower.
Well,
So,
Ben
A lot
did
of
great.
information. All right.
sorry.
All right.
Ben did awesome.
All right.
Okay, guys, have a great night. And again, you know where to find us. And thanks for joining. This was great.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Joe.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Alexis. Bye,
You're
guys.
welcome.